Wondering how we cold email distressed sellers at scale. So no, we don't use Google, we don't use Gmail. And the reason why behind that is because after sending tens of thousands of emails to homeowners, I've realized one thing. If you use one domain and one email box, you can be sending hundreds of emails a day and it's going straight to spam. And the reason why is if you look at cold calling, texting, everything like that, companies and phone companies and all that stuff is watching unhuman-like activity. So if you're giving the vibes that you're not a real person, they're going to flag your phone numbers, they're going to flag your CRM, and they're also catching on the email side. So companies like Outlook, companies like Gmail, they are picking up on spam-like words like fast cash offer, we'll buy your house for 100K, whatever the case may be. They are looking for words like that to mark you as spam. And once your email, your single email account or your single email domain is flagged as spam, none of your emails are going to go through to homeowners, which ultimately does not make you any money. So I'm going to show you the company that we use. So we use Instantly AI for all of our cold email traffic, and I'll kind of give you a breakdown. So this is the homepage of Instantly. So I'm going to show you how to get started. You're going to hit sign up here. So let's just make a fake account, right? So Tim Yu, I'll give you my personal email address here, and let's just join. Okay, cool. So let's just say, hey, we found you from Google. I'm an agency, and our company is 1 to 10 people. So next, and let me verify my email for a second. So I have just registered my account here. So I'm a brand new user, and this is what it looks like. So as you can see here, you have no email accounts. What you're going to do is you're going to click Add New. And then you have two different options. So you can buy pre-warmed accounts. I don't really recommend that because you're going to get random, emails, accounts, and all that stuff. What we do usually is the done for you setup. And the reason why is you can choose the domain name, you can choose what your account name is. It automatically connects everything into Instantly AI. Now you can map any pre-existing emails. So if you are already a cold marketing agency, you can actually pull all your existing accounts into this software absolutely for free. So what the important thing is with the done for you setup is it will do all the weird technical things, right? Like SKIM, your DKIM, all that weird stuff, your warm up sequences, everything like that will be done for you. So you don't have to worry about that. So for me, it's all about saving time and saving money because if it takes you a month to warm up all your stuff yourself, you're costing yourself tens of thousands of dollars in the wholesale industry. We also have added in this software here the premium warm-up pool, which I'll kind of show you what that looks like. Basically, it's an AI software that warms up all your emails automatically. They have a pool of like 2 to 3 thousand emails that go back and forth with each other, and it's pretty sick. And I'll show you that more in detail. But let's say like you want to get a Gmail G Suite here built for you. You click on this, you're going to search your domain. So we are Top Gap Homes, and you're going to just type it in here, and it's going to give you all these different types of domains. So let's say that we want to use trytghomes.org, and you're going to click next. It costs $15 a year, so that is pretty standard for a domain. It's actually pretty cheap for a domain. So you can actually buy your domain here, and then click next. You're going to hit your forwarding domain. So this is going to be your actual email address that you use as your main account. So you can forward all your stuff to your main account. And then this is like what it's going to actually tell you to do something. So I'll give you guys my real email address here. If, in case you want to send me some deals for us to JV with, you can send that all here and that will send you guys here. So I think this is just looking for a domain. So topcaphomes.com. And then I want to be Tim at all my domains, right? So basically, based off that one domain, it gave me 5 emails. So what we usually do is we have one domain per 5 email boxes, right? So you guys probably didn't even know that you could do that. So if you're sending it from your home Gmail account, you are only going to send it from one email on your one domain. So if that one email gets flagged as spam, you're toast, right? And you also, I think on Google now, you can send about 100 a day. We don't even recommend sending that much a day. So what we usually do is you're going to have a domain. and have 5 email boxes, and we probably want to send between 30 to 40 emails per day on per mailbox. So when you do the math here, if you want to send 500 emails a day, you're going to need like 3 domains, and then you're going to need a couple of mailboxes per domain to be able to safely email 500 people per day. So it's a math equation basically. And the reason why we want to separate all the different emails is because if we're sending 30 a day per one mailbox, your chances of getting a high spam rate is significantly reduced. And then when you have multiple domains as well, your domains can get hit with flagged as spam as well. So what we personally do is when we're sending hundreds and hundreds of emails per day, we have multiple domains that are working. So the best way to keep your domains healthy is to actually rotate which domains you're using every couple of months. So what our SOP is and what we do for our clients is we actually rotate domains every 60 days or so to give 1 or 2 domains a break for a couple months, right? Because we want to make sure that we're resting our domains, we're resting our emails, and allowing them to rebuild reputation through the warm-up pool. And then 60 days later, we turn those campaigns on, we turn those emails back on, and then we turn off a campaign that's been working actively to give that domain a rest. And that's kind of how you reduce the amount of spam you get and also allows your domains to rebuild so you're not burning any of them. Because once you burn domains, you got to make sure you switch them. You got to pay all the money to buy new accounts, and nobody really wants that. So when you do the emails, so it's pretty competitive to what you would normally pay for Google. So I think Google is about $3 a month or $4 a month. So you're paying an extra $1.50 per month on these mailboxes. So just a reminder, a recap of price. You're spending $15 a year on a domain, and then you're going to spend $5 a month per mailbox. So this is probably where it gets the most expensive to run your email campaigns, depending on how many you're actually sending like per month or per day, right? Um, but when it comes down to it, this is extremely cost effective, right? You are not spending tens of thousands of dollars on ads. You're not spending tens of thousands of dollars on PPL, direct mail. This is a very, very cheap model if you're doing it the correct way. So once you kind of figure out your emails, you're going to place your order. Well, I took you guys to one of our testing accounts to kind of show you what it looks like once you buy your emails. So once you buy your email mailboxes, they will all pop up here on the left-hand side on their email accounts, and you can track all the ones that you have actively going. So on this one, I have 5 emails, just like it would be if you purchased emails yourself. And basically, what happens is it shows you how many emails this thing is warming up with. So it goes through an automatic 14-day warm up for you to make sure that your emails are good to go. And like I said before, it's like a giant pool of different emails that instantly runs, and it's always emailing each other back. If your emails do end up in spam, it actually retrieves your email from spam or saved from spam. And then also, because that ultimately helps you, right? So if your emails are going to spam, someone goes in and marks it not spam and puts it back into the inbox, that is great for your emails. It is constantly warming up and it constantly ramps up your emails as you're doing it. So within a 14-day period, you're sending like 30, 40 warm-up emails prior to your first campaign. And I'll tell you, this is so important. You do not want to buy an email account and send 50 emails the first day. Your emails are just not ready for it, and then your emails are going to get burned and you're going to be cooked, right? Once your emails are going to spam, you do not want to do this. So basically, what we kind of set up here is we're doing about 50 emails a day. That's a little more than what I recommend when you first start out, but we're just trying to get as many emails as possible to test new campaigns. So I recommend sending between 30 to 40 emails per day. So you're not sending too many emails per domain. Because remember, these 5 boxes are under one domain here. So that's just something to think about. I don't recommend sending 150 or 250 emails a day from one domain. I'd probably send about 200 max, in my opinion. But you want to make sure that you have enough, emails a day to actually scale. So this is what it looks like. Kind of show you the warm up here. And then I'm going to show you how you can build automated campaigns through here. So you can see that we built campaigns out for pre-distressed sellers. So let's go through pre-foreclosure. So in this campaign right here, we've sent 173 emails. We have about a 43% open rate. That's pretty good, honestly, in this test. And then we've had two people that positively responded to us. And you can change what opportunities are worth. We just have a generic number in here, 4,500. But for us, this is a great open rate off the rip. We don't have any links, so we kind of disable this. And I can kind of talk about this more in detail later of why you don't want to send a link off your first email. Ultimately, people flag these and kind of mark it as spam. So we kind of try to avoid that off the rip. We always want to provide some sort of value, provide some sort of guide for people prior to us trying to book a call with them. So you can see all these different things here. You can load your leads. So you drop a CSV file through here, you click add leads, and you can literally load a CSV file right in here, and then all your data will drop into this lead thing. You can pay an extra $47 a month for these credits here. So these are instantly credits. And basically what you do with these is you can actually verify, re-skip the emails that you put in here. So as you can see, all these are verified. That means that the skip tracer service went through the emails again just to make sure that they're active, that they're being used. Because ultimately, if you send 1,000 emails and 100 of them are not used or they're disconnected, just off the rip, you have a 10% bounce rate. So getting marked as spam, getting unsubscribed, sending emails to bounced emails, not good. So if you're constantly sending emails to bounced people, what do you think Google, what do you think Outlook's going to say about your email accounts? Probably spam, right? Because you're constantly sending emails to non-existing people. So this is just a quick way to see, who's been verified, who's been good to go. And then it also shows, who's been replying, who's been emailing. So for us, we send all our positive replies. So obviously this it says interested. So AI is reading these emails and kind of judging like what type of response you're getting. So what we do is we actually zap all of our interested folks into our CRM. So we do all of our cold emails separate, and then we load all the interested sellers into our CRM so our acquisition team can call them, AI text, AI voice call, whatever the case you're using. I recommend using AI so you have a less tedious team or less bloated team and having that stuff kind of automated for you. Within each campaign here, we have all our pre-made campaigns here. So we like to send an email every couple of days throughout the first week just because it's not really natural to send thousands of emails to thousands of sellers every single day, right? So we want to make sure that we're sending a normal cadence of a couple emails every other day just to be more natural. Because remember, we don't want to piss people off with cold email. We want to make sure that we're providing value, reminding people who we are, what we're doing. And then if they ask for a guide, which is how you crush with cold email, is because think about it. If you're sending 1,000 emails a day, and they're just like, I want to buy your house. How many people do you think are going to mark you as spam? Tons. And once that happens, you're cooked, right? So I hate using the word cooked, but you're pretty much cooked. So what we want to do is if you're sending cold email, you want to provide some sort of value, right? So, hey, you're going through a tough time. Here's a guide that you can read for absolutely for free that can hopefully help you in your situation. You are being different from everybody else. You are not spamming them with offers. You are not spamming them for calls. You are trying to provide some sort of value and elicit a response. Nothing beats getting a response for your email reputation. So that is what we try to aim for. We are trying to get them to reply to us for a guide that one gives them a shit ton of value if they don't want to sell their house to us. And two, it is such an easy way for you to get into a conversation, right? Just by sending them a guide. You can control your schedule. So we email every day but Sunday. Historically for us, Sunday is a really bad day to cold call. It's also a bad day to bother people, in my opinion. This is a Houston, Texas list, so we want to obviously match our time to Central Time. And we just don't really want to email people, too much, right? So I'll probably extend this time here to 7:30 p.m. just so they're getting emails all day, instead of, kind of limiting ourselves, right? You have options. So you can control which emails are being used. So remember, I tell you that we like to rotate our emails for ourselves and our clients. So you can actually control this. You can actually X this out. You can turn off emails. You can turn on emails, whatever the case may be. What we do is we also stop emails when someone responds because that just means you're just on an automation that's stupid. If someone replies that you want to call, and then the next day they get an email saying, "Hey, are you looking for a guide?" And it's like they've already received that guide, right? We track open rates, delivery optimization. So send emails as no HTML, right? Send as text only. So basically, no links, no GIFs, no images, no anything like that. That is the best way to get your email out the first time. We can send all the links afterwards once they've replied to us and we've been exchanging a couple of emails just to build that virtual handshake with them, right? You don't want to hit that spam box immediately. And we have a whole ton of different, advanced metrics that you can use. Hey, what's the time gap between emails? We like to tag which state they are and what campaign they are so we can look at it. And then you can also track, how to optimize your A, B, C, D testing. So for us, we want to do open rate first. So we'll always test which emails actually get opened, right? Because for us, if people aren't opening the emails at all, it's no value, right? Then we want to look at your actual response rates or click rates if you have a link in there, right? So you want to make sure that people are opening. If you're not opening emails, like how are you making money? Because they're not obviously reading your emails. So there's so many different options you can have in here. If you want to do it, you can open advanced deliverability to look at, how to optimize your emails and all that. It's pretty neat stuff. Um, you can add subsequences. So this is your follow-up campaign. So we have our follow-up campaigns kind of separated. And I'll kind of show you why it's so important for having these subsequence or follow-up sequences. So you're probably wondering, wow, I have 15 freaking email accounts, right? That's a lot of email accounts. And you're probably like, wow, I'm going to be overwhelmed. But the luckily, based off how this software works, it actually compiles all your emails into one. It's called the UniBox. So as you can see, today is December 8th. So today is literally December 8th here. We've had 3 responses back today from our test campaign. And what is absolutely sick about this software is it actually has AI that tells you if they're interested or not. So, and you can correct it if it's wrong. Like you can say yes or no. But basically, it reads what the seller is saying. So you can see that we've sent 1 and 2 emails to this seller, and she said, please call, right? So our acquisition manager is going to probably reach out to her if she hasn't already. But this is basically telling it, like, please call. The AI said interested. And we sent an email out, but we probably called her. But in reality, this lead, interested, anything interested, gets zapped into our Go High level where we can automate a text message. We can automate a voice AI agent to give them a call if we're not available to actually reach out to that person, right? So you want to make sure that you're getting that speed to lead. It went to our CRM, and you can tell an hour later someone manually sent an email. So this AI software drafts you an email. You just quickly read it and send it. You can have your AI send it for you within like a time frame, but obviously that costs a little extra. So if you're on a budget, just make sure you're zapping your lead into a CRM. It also tracks normal leads. So if someone's just responding to you asking for a guide and not for a phone call, this is the perfect lead to follow up in a later period. Okay, so this person obviously replied for guide. We sent them the guide, and after a couple of days, you can reply back because it actually reminds you, says, "Hey, sent 4 days ago, follow up." Or you can click, if it's a lead here, you can click move, and you're gonna click to subsequence. So this is what I was talking about with follow-ups, where you can actually take this lead, drop it into a follow-up sequence that can email him 2, 3 days later. So you're not sitting here manually doing all this stuff. You can automate all this stuff. You can also move this person to another campaign. So let's say this guy is not interested and we put him into a cold email follow-up sequence, right? There's so many things that you can play with cold email depending on how they responded. And to be honest, if they're asking for a guide and they're not talking to us anymore in a follow-up sequence, let's put them in a cold sequence because they may be ready to sell later, just not now. This lead here, same thing. So this person said, reply to an email. They said, I'm working with a housing company with an open contract already. So we're going to say, hey, appreciate you telling us. If you still want the guide, you have the ability to get the guide. If anything changes, here's my number. So what we're going to do here, put them in a follow-up sequence, right? This is the perfect follow-up sequence. And when we looked at our CRM today, what the sick part is, we track everything to our CRM, right? So if a lot of you guys are using Go High Level, REI Simply, whatever the CRM you may be using, you can track all your text messages. You can track all your phone calls. And what's freaking insane about this is this seller specifically ignored all of our cold calls. She's ignored six of our text messages. We have a very aggressive text campaign, right? We text about 2 times a day, every single day for the first week. And she's ignored every single one, but then she replied to an email. Let that sink in for a second. They're not picking up your calls, they're not picking up your text messages. How many wholesales would just mark that lead as dead? This is what's crazy. They're replying to your email. Why? Because you're value focused and you're being different from everybody else. So imagine adding this as an add-on to your business. It's extremely low cost. And it's very, very effective if done correctly. Like this is an insane, insane model. You have all your analytics here. So in this test campaign the last 4 weeks, we've only sent 400 emails, man. Like this is only 400 emails. We've sent thousands and thousands and thousands within 4 weeks. So in this campaign here, 444, we have a 35% open rate. We literally had a 40% open rate maybe 10 minutes ago, but you know how I changed those settings? It's probably sending out another batch of emails. So 35% open rate, not bad. Probably went a little higher. A 40% open rate was insane, in my opinion. And then we have a 1.66% reply rate, and then also two opportunities. So basically, opportunities is anybody that has the AI saying that they're interested. So literally in the last week, I know it's tracking 4 weeks, but let's say last 7 days. So last 7 days, we've ramped up our email testing dramatically on this one campaign, but we've sent 300 emails, almost a 40% open rate. We have no links, so we don't have click rates. And then we have a 1.5% reply rate, which looks really bad. But remember, in this last 7 days or last day, really, we've had one person that wants to speak to us positively, and that could be an $8,000 to $10,000 deal. So imagine if you're sending 1,000 emails, 1,000 emails, you have four opportunities for the price about $200 to $300 a month, just bolting on cold email to your business, right? Obviously, it's going to cost a little more if you buy all the different add-ons. It's going to cost more if you have a CRM. But if you already have a business that's already running and you're constantly already doing deals, this is such a low cost to kind of do this for you. That's why we have so many clients that love cold email because they don't have to worry about it. We literally manage all the email boxes for them. We do the domain rotations. We set up their emails for them. We set up all your campaigns for you, and you just let it work, and we zap those leads into your CRM. This is probably the most advanced way to check your spam rates on inbox placement. So inbox placement is a sick, sick add-on to this software here, and you can literally add. So you have to upgrade, right? So this is a test account here. So basically, you can pay $47 a month to add growth inbox placement, and it gives you all these different reports. So it basically tests your email. So if you have a campaign that you want to test, it checks if your emails have spam words in it, like, hey, we want to buy your house cash, or hey, you're probably going through like a financial problem. Like that is all words that you kind of want to avoid. Anything like finance, anything like that. And that it tracks what your emails are saying and it kind of gives you advice on how to change it. It also tells you if all your DMARC, DKIM, SPF, all these different email backend stuff that needs to be applied, it's checking that constantly. It's also checking if you've been blacklisted. So there's actually if you go to like postmailmaster.com or whatever, you can actually search if your domains are going into the blacklist, which is not good, right? If you're going to the blacklist, your accounts are cooked and you pretty much have to delete your domain and you delete your inboxes. And you know how devastating that can be. because if you don't have multiple domains or multiple email boxes, it takes you 14 days to ramp up your emails. And then there's also an initial ramp up phase of you not sending hundreds of emails after that. So there's a ramp up period of sending 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 emails as you like build your campaigns and build your emails. So basically, if you have your stuff on the blacklist side, you are literally putting yourself out of business for about a month. So that's why we want to have multiple accounts going, multiple domains, multiple mailboxes, so you can make sure that your business can still run, even if your stuff is getting flagged. So I hope this makes sense. I hope this was a good overview of how we do cold email marketing and what software we use with Instantly. There is a link down below if you want a discount. So we have a discount for all of our friends and family with this link. And I hope this freaking helps. So see you guys in the next one.